Okay, well, thank you so much for the kind introduction, Cassandra. So I will start off with some of the background. Basically, yeah, why Kohaku, why we're doing Kohaku, and why it makes sense to really start something like Kohaku now. So Ethereum, I think first we need to appreciate it has led the way on privacy research and development over the past 10 years in all kinds of ways, right? So Ethereum added the elliptic curve precompiles, EC-add, EC-ball, EC-pairing back in 2018. Tornado Cash, Railgun, all the privacy protocols are based on that. We have funded a lot of academic research on all of these topics. The PSE did a lot of really important work on ZK Stark protocols, developer tooling, even a lot of pioneering application layer stuff, and Ethereum L2s, including Aztec, including Intmax, on the enterprise side, also Nightfall, and likewise on security, right? I think the DAO hack in 2016, who remembers the DAO hack? Who lost money in the DAO hack? So it really catalyzed the ecosystem, and we got a much stronger smart contract auditing ecosystem. We got Seal, a group that's been doing all kinds of work around security this past decade. A lot of improvements to languages, both Solidity and Viper, to make them more and more secure over time. Also, multi-sig wallets that were sort of mostly a dream back in 2015, and then now very mainstream today. Who here uses a multi-sig wallet on Ethereum? Amazing. So, but on real world privacy and security delivered to users, we're still behind where we could be. And that is the thing that could change, and that is the thing that this year can change. So, using privacy protocols in 2025. The good part is the base layer technology, it's all great. You can generate a proof within like less than 1 second on a laptop, 2 seconds on a phone. It's easy to develop. It's very well understood. There's a lot of well-tested circuits. But from a UI side, right, using a privacy protocol requires a separate seed phrase. There's no multi-sig option. So if you have your coins in a private pool, your coins have to be controlled by one single key. It requires opening a separate privacy wallet. It takes like 5 clicks to do a private send and withdraw. The public broadcaster mechanisms are brittle. Last week I had to, fight against public broadcasters, and it took about 10 tries until eventually I figured out that it works after you turn on a VPN. So we're in this like very last mile stage, right? And it's exactly at that last mile stage where we need to put a lot of really concerted effort into doing better. Same on the security side. A lot of layer 1 security work, much better. Safe wallet, much better. But this year, safe UI, not yet much better, right? Also, usability of security. So there's this article here basically asking why, in the era of everyone knowing about Mt. Gox and FTX, do people use centralized exchanges? And one big part of the answer is basically convenience, right? And a lot of people don't understand how to work with things like private keys. On all of these fronts, we can do better. Privacy is important. So this is an excerpt from an article I wrote in April, Why I Support Privacy. Privacy is freedom. Privacy gives us space to live our lives in the ways that meet our needs without us having to constantly worry about how our actions will be perceived by all kinds of centralized and decentralized, coercive and otherwise political and social games. Privacy is order. A lot of the most basic mechanisms in our society depend on the assumption that not everyone can constantly see what everyone else is doing. And privacy is progress. There's a lot of value that we can unlock by using data for things like medicine and science that could become a dystopian nightmare if it is done in a way that is not designed to be privacy first. And with newer cryptography, it can be designed to be privacy first. Privacy is not an abstraction. It is a concrete benefit to users we can show that we have now. Security is important. So here, I think I'll let the meme speak for me, right? But basically, you could do a lot of things with your assets. If you put them into DeFi, you get some APY. If you do nothing, you get 0% APY. Can anyone shout out what your APY is if you lose your private keys? Minus 100. What your APY is if Lazarus discovers your private keys? Minus 100. And what your APY is if the wrong people discover how much money you have, who you donate to, and where you live. Dead. So, now, privacy is a lot of things, right? I think historically we have, at least within the Ethereum world, thought about privacy as basically just being what can you ZK prove on chain. But privacy is much more than what happens on chain. It's also UX work. It's making it easier for people to have different wallets for different applications and not accidentally screw up and link their identities to each other when they do that. Privacy is privacy of reads, being able to read data from the chain without compromising everything about yourself. This can be done either with techniques that take RPCs and make them better, so things like either TE plus ORAM or the really cryptographically pure approach PIR, or by making it easier to have full nodes, which block level access lists and ZK EVMs will do. Also, making sure you don't reveal everything about yourself from at the network level, so looking at mixed nets. Also, looking at operations other than finance. All of these things are important. Security is more than any one thing. So, risk-based access control. You should have to press more buttons and get more authorization to move $100,000 than to move $10. This is something that traditional security has recognized for over a decade. It's something that our space needs to work around as well. Recovery, better options for people to recover their accounts if they lose a device, if they lose a key. Security at the user interface level. On-chain version control, both of software dependencies and of UIs. We should have a world where UIs live on-chain, and the DAO itself sends an on-chain transaction to update the UI, so you can't hack into a server and make people do dependency minimization and security of the dependencies. So, Ethereum in 2025, it has strong security and privacy research. It has strong security on the L1. There is constantly improving privacy tooling that has improved by miles since Zcash, the very first version of Zcash launched, and it took 2 minutes to sign a transaction. So much improvement has happened, but we still need to level up the last mile. We need to level up the application and wallet layer, the parts of this whole problem that are closest to the user. And that is exactly what Nico will talk to us about.
Thank you, V.
It's me again, Kassandra, and I want to show you the demo of our Kohaku wallet we've been working on. So I've been working on this in collaboration with the EF, a bunch of EF grantees. Shout out especially to the Wonderland team who's been doing a lot of work on this alongside me. So let's check it out. So here we are in my browser, and we are going to try and open the Kohaku wallet. So it's a pretty traditional browser extension wallet. This is a fork of the Ambire wallet, where we just have tried to embed these privacy features directly in a classical browser wallet user experience. So yeah, everything looks pretty traditional so far, right? We've got this account, we've got ETH and USDC on Sepolia in our public account here. We've got a number of different accounts we can derive from our seed phrase, but maybe the first big difference is we have this thing called the private account. So let's check that out. And as you can see, this already has some ETH in it, but this is ETH we've already deposited into privacy pools, into a privacy protocol, which helps anonymize our funds. So the private account is actually aggregating balances across both privacy pools and Railgun, so any tokens or ETH that we've deposited into either of those protocols would show up in our private account. Okay, cool. So what can we do with the Kohaku wallet? Well, we have all these funds in our public address here. So one thing we can do is we can take public funds we have and we can shield them. We can deposit them into these privacy protocols on Ethereum. So let's start with privacy pools, and let's deposit some ETH into privacy pools. Why not, right? So we click privacy pools, and let's do 0.2 ETH, and we pay a small fee. This is part of the privacy pools protocol. Click deposit, and send this transaction off. Wait for it to be included. Okay, cool. We have deposited some ETH into privacy pools, and we can see now, we see this pending message, since in privacy pools you actually have a delay on deposits. They have to be checked for the ability to be whitelisted to make sure that it's not bad actors trying to use the protocol. So that's why we already had some privacy pools ETH pre-deposited, so we can use it later and we don't have to wait this pending period. But we can also use the Railgun protocol as another privacy protocol. So our Kohaku SDK is agnostic to the different privacy solutions on Ethereum. We want to support all of them. And one cool thing about Railgun is it supports all ERC20s out of the box. Unlike some other privacy protocols that maybe have to bootstrap each asset individually, Railgun supports all the ERC20s. So let's maybe deposit this ERC20 we have, some of on Spolia, into Railgun. So we just change the privacy provider to Railgun. Okay, cool. And we switch the token to USDC. And let's deposit, I don't know, 500 USDC into Railgun. So we just click deposit here and sign and send the transaction. One interesting thing that's happening here is under the hood with the Kohaku wallet is we didn't have to first do an approval and then do the deposit, even though we're utilizing ERC20. That's because we're using 7702 under the hood so that we can bundle these together into one action. So it's one click to do this deposit. Awesome. So as you can see, our USDC balance went down. And if we check out our private account, we can see we have a bunch of USDC deposited into Railgun. We can see it in our private balances here. So great. So that's what deposits look like when you want to take public funds and anonymize them directly inside the Kohaku wallet. But what else can we do? Another feature I want to show you is using a dApp, right? So people want to also interact on the chain, use the dApps they like. So here I have as an example Uniswap open, and we can connect our Kohaku wallet, which here, since it's a fork of Ambire, looks like Ambire. But one new user experience is instead of connecting the currently active account in the wallet, we promote privacy hygiene by nudging the user to actually create a new account whenever they connect to a dApp. So this way, we can try to always use fresh accounts and have much better privacy hygiene. So, okay, let's connect our fresh account here. I'm just gonna copy it. Cool. And then I'm also gonna make sure we're on the testnet. Great, awesome, cool. So we connected our fresh account. This is great because Uniswap doesn't learn anything about our identity or any links of our accounts. The only thing that Uniswap learns is we've connected this absolutely unlinked account. But it doesn't have any funds in it, right? So what do? Well, we can just open our wallet, navigate to the private account, and from here, when things load, cool. What we can do is let's withdraw some of the privacy pools ETH directly into our fresh account so we can swap on Uniswap but anonymously. So we just click send from the private account, pick privacy pools, we'll input our fresh address that we want to receive the funds, and I don't know, let's withdraw 0.4 ETH. Why not? Okay, so now we're going to click send, and we do some client-side proving here, interestingly, so that we can create the zero-knowledge proof to withdraw the funds from privacy pools. And this is broadcasted by a relayer so that whoever's paying the transaction fees for this does not in no way linked to our identity. So the relayer is going to broadcast this transaction. The funds are going to leave privacy pools and hit our completely unlinked account connected to Uniswap. And when that transaction is included, we can move on. Cool, so it looks like we've been included. And if we check out the Uniswap application, there we are. We can see we've got some ETH, so why don't we try to buy some token on Spolia? I don't know. Cool, so we can spend a little bit of ETH. And the Kohaku wallet functions like any other browser wallet. We can interact with all the dApps the same way we always could. It's not noticing my balance just yet. Let's see. Great. So we're swapping some ETH for Uni, but we're doing this much more privately thanks to the Kohaku wallet. Just wait one more time for this transaction to be included. Okay, it's been included. Great. So what have we done? We have deposited funds into a privacy protocol. We've withdrawn from a privacy protocol into a fresh account to use a dApp in a more anonymous way. And the last feature I want to show you guys is one thing we can do with Railgun, which is if we have funds inside of Railgun, like we do here, we have almost 500 USDC, we can do a private internal transfer. That means if someone else has a 0ZK Railgun address, instead of withdrawing from Railgun, we can, without ever leaving the Railgun shielded pool, just send them some funds completely anonymously. So we get privacy for both sender and receiver. So yeah, I'm going to try to send my friend Nico some USDC.
So here I go, and I want to give my 0ZK address to Cass. So I'm going to simply open my Kohaku wallet and go to my private account. And here you go. I don't have a balance yet, but that's absolutely normal. And then I copy my 0ZK address, and I will give it to Cass right now.
All right, I just got a notification on Signal. Nico sent me his 0ZK address. So open up my wallet, navigate to send here, clicking Railgun, USDC, pick out the address, and let's send 100 USDC to Nico privately for both sender and receiver. Wait for it to be included. Looks like it has been. If I refresh my account, we can see I have 100 less USDC. Let's see if Nico received his funds.
And so I'm going to go to my private account. It's going to fetch my balance. And here we go. I got $100. Thank you, Cass.
So that's pretty much it. Thanks for your time and for watching. We're really excited about the privacy features we can bring to traditional browser wallets with the Kohaku SDK. So if you're building a wallet or you already are working on a wallet and you want some of these features, definitely reach out to us. Again, thanks so much and hope you enjoyed. See ya.
Thank you for the hard work, Cass. This was a very nice demo. So as you can see, Kohaku is a set of primitives that can power wallets. We have three main goals. So an SDK that exposes strong privacy and security features, a power user-oriented reference implementation that you've just seen, and collaborating with existing wallets. So we don't want to be a wallet ourselves. We don't want to maintain a consumer product. So we want you guys that are building wallets to use us, to use the SDK. So reach out to us. I'm going to walk you through quickly the features that we've been working on for this first version. So everything you've seen here, when we fetch the data, you might have noticed that it takes a little bit more time than usual. This is because we're using Helios-like client. So basically, when you use Helios, you remove the trust from the RPC. So this is a very nice and cool feature. We are also working on a minimal execution client with an oblivious server, which would allow for the RPC calls to actually be private. So not only they're trustlessly verified, but they're also private once we will have this server. Currently, it's being developed by Oblivious Lab. Shout out to them. We have the private send that you've just seen. So we're using a privacy pool that has been developed by Wonderland. Shout out to them. They are doing an amazing work on this wallet. Cass, our one and only Cass, did the Railgun integration. We did the private receive and private payment requests. Again, an amazing work from Wonderland. So we have the aggregated view of the privacy tokens. We are working on preventing IP leakage. So we are working on a Tor library that we found. We have one account per dApp, as you've just seen. We are also working on a new wallet connection kit that is a privacy-first protocol for JSON RPC connectivity. This one will be showcased to you during the week. We are also working on a social recovery kit that is being developed by the PSC team. It will use ZK-GWT in the beginning, but also ZK email, ZK passport, and Anon Adar in the future. We are working on a post-quantum kill switch with the ZKNox team, where you will be able to deploy a post-quantum account. So in case we reach post-quantum computing, you will be ready. We are also working on a universal Ethereum application for hardware that we hope to be able to showcase this week. This is an application that will be able to run on multiple hardware. We are working on ZK hardware signers that are almost ready, allowing you to use privacy protocols directly from your hardware wallets and unlocking the security of hardware wallets for privacy protocols. Again, shout out to the ZK Nox team for this amazing work. And we are also developing spending policies, so we will be working with the 4337 team to have spending policies so that you can have different signers assigned to different spending policies. And last but not least, we are also looking into broadcasting transactions directly through the peer-to-peer network without even relying on RPCs. And future direction that we're exploring, a native Ethereum browser, so we're bringing back Mist all over again. We're also working, shout out to Mist, and developing a local AI transaction scoring to improve the security and the privacy, so it can warn you if you're leaking your privacy through this next transaction. And we are also collaborating to make native account abstraction happen on Ethereum. Thanks a lot for the time. Sorry for the little demo effect. Hope to see you all during DevConnect and that you enjoyed the presentation. See you soon.